Hi there, welcome back to the NLP Learning Video channel once more. This is Jacky, your NLP coach. Now, in this particular video, now I'd like to share with you one of these top secrets of influence. Now, if you've ever wondered what is the biggest secret that you need to know about mastering the art of influence, now in this video, I'd like to take a moment to share this with you. Now, many people ask me, so what is it that makes NLP such a different, unique tool when it comes to helping them to improve their ability to master this art of persuasion or influence? Now, the answer lies in that NLP understands that there's this part of the mind known as the critical faculty. Now, what do I mean by the critical faculty? Now, for a start, let me just take you back, maybe say a few thousand years ago, and with this metaphor. And you probably heard of the story of this Trojan horse. All right, this story is about this. There was once this city of Troy, who was thought to be an impregnable fortress. Now, because for many years, decades, the Greeks now had been trying in vain to invade this city of Troy, where the Trojans lived in. And then we know the story that eventually the Greeks they concluded that the only way to take down the city was to take it down by using their wits and not by actually using force. So that was where they devised a plan. They left this Trojan horse right outside the city gates, pretending that they actually lost the battle. Now, what actually happened next was that the Trojans actually believed that they had actually drove the Greeks off, and they opened the city gates and took this huge wooden Trojan horse into the city. Now, what happened at night in the evening was there was actually soldiers. There were some of these best soldiers that the Greeks had actually planted in the horse, and the rest was history, because the city of Troy was eventually conquered in just one night. Now, why am I sharing this story with you? Because in NLP, we recognize that influence works in a similar way. Now, isn't it true that whenever you're trying to influence someone, now there's always some kind of a resistance that you tend to face. And this resistance is nothing more like the city walls of the city of Troy. And because of this defensive barrier, it wouldn't be easy for you to send a message across to your client. All right, it will not be easy to motivate your kids to study hard for the exams, to ask your boss for the pay rise. Now, because there's always this part of the mind, the critical faculty, that's going to go like this. Why should I do this? What good does it do for me to do this? So in order for you to be able to influence effectively, now the only way is to learn ways in which you could bypass the so-called critical faculty, now which is actually the part of the mind that stands between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. Now, I'm sure you probably be aware of these two parts of the mind. The conscious mind is the part of the mind that reasons, where logic happens, but unfortunately, rarely do people make decisions based on their logic, but it's always an emotional decision that they tend to make. So how is it possible for you to reach the unconscious part of the mind of your prospect, all right, the person that you like to influence? Now, the only way is to learn how to bypass the gatekeeper, the critical faculty. Now, this is why in some of our training programs, we teach a technique known as subtle selling. Now, which is basically how you could package your message in such a way. Now, whether it's the use of metaphors, language patterns, now you can actually say it in such a way, all right, that it actually penetrates the critical faculty and gets right into the unconscious mind of the person that you like to influence. All right, so remember that if you like to master the art of influence, now you have to first learn how, in order to bypass the gatekeeper. Now, or else you will always be trying to do so in vain. Now, that's all I have for you. I hope you're going to take this tip right here. Now, maybe in the next coming videos, I'll probably take some moments to share with you some specific techniques that you can actually use to influence effectively and communicate to the subconscious mind. So stay tuned, and I will look forward to connect with you again very soon. Take care.